Imagine it's the year 2030. You wake up in the morning, pick up your phone, and check your bank balance. Everything looks normal. The numbers are there. Your money is there. You feel secure, just like always. You get ready, step outside, and decide to grab a coffee. You tap your card to pay, and suddenly the machine flashes a message. Transaction declined. You try again. Maybe it's just a glitch. Declined. You open your banking app. The balance is still there. Nothing seems wrong. But somehow, you still can't access your own money. Then a notification appears on your screen. Your account access has been temporarily restricted. No explanation. No warning. Just like that, you've lost control. Now pause for a second and really think about this. Not as a movie scene, not as fiction, but as a possibility. Because the truth is, most people today don't actually own their money. They only have permission to use it. Your money sits in a system controlled by institutions you don't run, rules you didn't create, and decisions you can't influence. And for years, this system worked well enough that nobody questioned it. People trusted it. People relied on it. People built their entire lives around it. But something is changing now, quietly, slowly, almost invisibly. Cash is disappearing. Digital payments are rising. And money is no longer something you can hold in your hand. It's something that exists as data. And when money becomes data, control becomes everything. Because whoever controls the system controls access. And whoever controls access controls people. Now here's where things get interesting. A new idea entered the world, not through governments or banks, but through code. An idea that challenged everything we thought we knew about money. That idea was Bitcoin. For the first time in history, it introduced the possibility that you could own your money without needing permission from anyone. No bank, no middleman, no authority standing between you and your finances. Just you and your digital wallet. And later, platforms like Ethereum expanded that idea even further, creating entire ecosystems where money, contracts, and ownership could exist without centralized control. But here's the thing most people completely misunderstand. Crypto is not just about making quick money. It's not about hype or trends or chasing the next big coin. It's about a fundamental shift in power. It's about who controls value in the digital age. And the people who truly understand this, they are not just investing, they are preparing. Because by 2030, the world won't just reward people who work hard. It will reward people who understand systems, people who understand ownership, people who understand how money actually flows. And this is where the first powerful skill comes in, understanding digital ownership. Most people today still treat digital money like physical money. They store it in apps, they trust platforms blindly, they ignore security, and they assume everything will always work the way it does now. But in a digital world, ownership is not about seeing a number on a screen. It's about control. If you don't control your private keys, you don't control your assets. It's that simple. And the gap between people who understand this and people who don't will only get bigger over time. The ones who learn how wallets work, how security works, how to protect and manage digital assets, they won't just be safe, they'll be ahead. Because while others are confused and dependent, they will be independent and prepared. Now think about every major shift in history. The internet, social media, smartphones. Every single time there were people who saw the opportunity early and people who ignored it. The early ones took risks, learned new skills, adapted quickly, and positioned themselves ahead of the curve. The late ones waited, doubted, hesitated, and eventually followed. The same pattern is repeating again, right now, with digital assets and decentralized systems. And this brings us to the second skill, the ability to see early. Not guess randomly, not follow hype, but recognize patterns before they become obvious. Because by the time something becomes obvious, the biggest opportunity is already gone. The people who succeed are not always the smartest. They're the ones who pay attention. They notice small changes. They connect dots. They ask better questions. And most importantly, they act before everyone else feels comfortable. But even that is not enough. Because the future is not just changing, it's accelerating. Technology is evolving faster than ever before. Artificial intelligence, blockchain, automation, all these forces are merging and reshaping how the world works. And in this kind of environment, The most valuable skill is not knowledge, it's adaptability, the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn quickly, the ability to stay flexible while everything around you changes. Because in the past, you could rely on one skill for decades. Today, that same skill can become outdated in just a few years. The people who will thrive by 2030 are not the ones who resist change. They are the ones who embrace it. They experiment. They stay curious. They keep evolving. While others stay stuck in old ways of thinking, they move forward. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people will ignore all of this, not because they can't understand it, but because it feels unfamiliar. It feels risky. It feels easier to stay where they are, doing what they've always done. They'll scroll past this kind of information. They'll dismiss it. They'll say, "This is not for me." And slowly, without realizing it, they'll fall behind. Not because they're not capable, but because they chose comfort over growth. And by the time they realize what's happening, the gap will already be too wide. So as we move closer to 2030, the real question is not how much money you have. It's how much control you have. Because in the future, wealth will not just be measured in numbers. It will be measured in ownership, in access, in understanding. People won't ask you how much you earn. They'll ask you what you control. Your assets, your systems, your decisions. And the people who start learning these skills today, the ones who take this shift seriously, they are the ones who will be in a completely different position tomorrow. Not just financially, but mentally, because they won't be reacting to change. They'll be ready for it. And maybe the most powerful realization of all is this: the future doesn't suddenly arrive one day. It builds slowly, step by step, choice by choice. And the decisions you make today, the skills you choose to learn, the mindset you choose to adopt, they quietly shape where you will stand in that future. So the real question is not whether the world will change. It already is. The real question is, will you change with it, or will you watch it happen from the sidelines? Because by 2030, the difference between people won't just be money.